This morning I thought I'd try something a little different and see if I could throw together a quick video blog post of sorts. A lot of people are really afraid of what's going on in our world these days, rightly so. There's multiple exponentially self-reinforcing changes happening with our climate, environment, even our economic system is seeming to be designed to head us towards destruction as a civilization, and some people worry about the planet itself. But the thing is, the way that I and some other people see it, some way wiser and more enlightened than I, the way some of us see it, at the same time as this physical realm of fearful destruction seems to be upon us. We're in this era where more and more people are waking up to the realization that you can find peace within and happiness within, and you can do work for the world from that place way better than you can do it from the place of fear, and way better than you can do it by way of fighting against this crazy train that's just roaring faster and faster towards the end, a brick wall or a cliff. And so I don't watch much of the mainstream political news. I don't read it. It's not the train that I'm on. I am working on a different train. I'm riding in the opposite direction with a small, growing minority of people, counterculturals, that are also spiritual activists. They are doing their inner work to bring peace within themselves and find that expanding love to share with the world that we so desperately need. This is the paradigm shift of life that I see as absolutely necessary to reduce the suffering being caused and is bound to get worse by the crazy train that's still roaring in the direction of death and civilization collapse. At least the way a lot of us see it in terms of the limitations of a planet. So the metaphor again is, imagine a magic train. At the head of it there's some crazy people that are feeding the fires, stepping on the accelerator and heading us faster and faster in the direction of a brick wall. And that's a magic train because no matter where you are on that magic train, you can intend to shift to the back of the train and just decouple. You can decouple from the madness. You can decouple from the craziness. That doesn't mean you don't care about the people on that train anymore. You're decoupling from the madness because you love them. But you can't help them if you're on that train with them in terms of their energetic beings and their belief systems. If they believe in our paradigms of life where we find happiness from outside of the world, outside of our own inner worlds, where we find our happiness from doing things, having things, owning things. If they're in that paradigm, then God bless them. They need help too. But the best way to help everyone on the planet is to create more peace and understanding within yourself. This is the ancient teaching that the Buddha and even Jesus has told us if we look at the scriptures in the right way, even in our Christian scriptures. So, once we decouple from the train of madness, stop looking at all that depressing news, that scary news, and dive within. Find out what part of yourself, and many parts, of course, have a lot of inertia from that train. Now, even after we decouple, we're going to keep heading in that same crazy direction. You can't help yourself. You've been on that train for a long time. But through spiritual practices like meditation, you can gradually release some of that karma, and the speed of your train will slow to a beautiful stop. And instead of heading in that crazy destructive direction, we can all together link up our trains and gradually move in the direction of peace, the direction of love, in the direction that we're actually all born to go. That's the direction, that our innate direction. This other direction is madness. It's a sickness. It's not what we actually are in our essence. It's not a reflection of that essence. And so, once you decouple and then work on the inertia, habits and whatnot, give yourself time, patience, but keep looking for those other train cars that have already decoupled and hook up with them as often as you can. Go to group spiritual practices. Hook up to their energy. Get a little pulled in the right direction as often as you can. And pretty soon, our train in the direction of love is going to get bigger, bigger, and the train going the other direction will be smaller and smaller, and God willing, we can transition into an era that humankind has only dreamed of since the days of the most ancient prophets, even before the Buddha. People have been dreaming about this kind of transformation. We've got a chance to have it happen. It might not. It might take another whole era of cycle of destruction and recreation. Civilizations have fallen before. We can survive that as our essence of what we actually are, and even humans, I trust. But we don't really want to take thousands of years, or perhaps longer, to come back from this crisis that we're in at the physical level. We would like to see it happen sooner, wouldn't we? Hopefully, we won't be so caught up in that desire that it will create a lot of fear and ruin our practice, so that the era, again, doesn't come after all. We need to have enough faith to keep ourselves moving in the right direction, even in the face of the crazy train. I hope you enjoyed this metaphor, and till later, bye-bye.